My name is Amy Hinojosa, and I'm the president and CEO of MANA, a National Latina organization. On behalf of our MANA National Board of Directors, I welcome you to the 2020 Hermana Virtual Conference. I can't believe it's been a year since we were together here in Washington, D.C., but I really can't believe how our world has shifted in the last 6 months. A global pandemic, economic uncertainty, civil unrest, continued family separations, and political upheaval have forced us indoors and forced us to take stock of the things that are most important. It had been our plan to have this celebration and conference in New Orleans, Louisiana, eating etouffee and beignets, toasting with a hurricane, and gathering as we do each year with each other. But instead, we're in our homes. In fact, I'm coming to you from my bedroom, which has become a makeshift studio complete with lights and cameras, as I try to stay connected to you and to keep Mana's voice loud and clear here in Washington. Even though the last 6 months have been a blur of COVID-19, the world has learned one thing we already knew. America's essential worker is Latina. 1 in almost every 5 women in the United States today is a Latina. By 2060, that number will be 1 in 3. More than 1 in every 4 kindergartners in the United States today is of Hispanic descent. When our lives shut down, the vast majority of Latinas who were not displaced from their jobs had to keep going to work. The top 6 occupations for Latinas are maids and housekeeping cleaners, cashiers, customer service representatives, secretaries and administrative assistants, janitors and building cleaners, and retail salespeople. On top of that, some 900,000 Latinas work across the country to pick and pack our food. It's easy to see that Latinas keep the world moving. Yet we do not have a single Latina Fortune 500 CEO, and less than 3% of seats on corporate boards are Latinas. Latinas remain the most undervalued workers, still only making 54 cents for every dollar made by a white male. Most essential workers are not being provided insurance benefits, hazard pay, or paid leave if they get sick. Far too many barely make the minimum wage. Farm workers are excluded from most worker protections and face unbelievable occupational hazards. The need for childcare or to serve as a caregiver for a family member weighs heavily on so many of our families. Now the pandemic has compounded that burden, as it has for so many families, as parents are being asked to homeschool their children, whether or not they have access to the internet, or now to make the decision to send them back to school under questionable health protocols. Only 57% of Hispanic homes have computers or laptops, according to the Pew Research Center. And while 95% of American households have broadband available, 27% of Americans do not subscribe because they simply do not see the importance of the internet. We cannot let our children get behind. And at MANA, we are working every single day to get policymakers to understand the importance of making sure our families are connected. COVID is ravaging our community, our beloved Hispanic community. The health of our community is more in danger than it has ever been. We have among the highest rates of obesity, heart disease, diabetes, and other diseases that potentially make contracting COVID-19 a death sentence. Our elderly are at risk, but all too often in our multi-generational homes, they're needed for childcare or to continue working in some form. But despite all of this, hermanas, we are descended from warriors. Our ancestors fought trials and tribulations we could not imagine. Many came from different countries to the United States in search of a better life and endured hardships they would never tell us about. Yet they kept the faith, they worked harder, and not only survived, but managed to make a better life for us. Many times, it feels like our community is under attack. The shooting in El Paso last year, countless viral videos of racism and calls to go back where we came from, political discourse that tries to devalue the contributions of immigrants. But what I tell you is that I see so much more. I see Martha Singh from Mana de Imperial Valley racing to find supplies and protective equipment for frontline workers and feeding them. I see the Bonilla family of Mana de North Texas supporting and encouraging frontline workers. I see Mana de San Diego delivering laptops to hermanitas who did not have them. I see Belda Garza and Mana de Metro Detroit doubling their scholarship gifts this year, knowing that families are harder financially hit. I see Mana de North County, San Diego, doing a virtual parade for their graduates, and so many of our hermanas keeping in close contact with their hermanitas via Zoom and social media. All of our chapters have been engaged in sharing health information and have gone above and beyond to stay connected in this increasingly virtual world. And so I tell you, the state of Latinas is strong. We are essential. We are warriors. We are resilient. And above all, our secret weapon is that we have our hermanas from across the country working in solidarity, lifting each other up, working toward the betterment of our community, and ensuring through our Hermanitas program that the next generation will be ready to face any and all challenges that come our way. As I leave you, I want you to remember that your voice is valuable. And there are two simple ways that you can make your voice heard, even in these times of COVID. First, fill out your census. If you haven't already, go to census.gov and take just a few short minutes to get counted and help your community get the vital resources for hospitals, fire departments, schools, parks, infrastructure, and so much more. You just need to get you and your family counted. Two, we have to vote. We are seeing this global pandemic, economic recession, civil unrest, family separations, and so much more impacting our community. There is no greater act of citizenship than to vote. Our lives depend on it. So we hope you tune in to our conference programming over the next few days, get inspired, energized, and have a little fun. Not only will we be having hard-hitting conversations, but on Friday night, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to go Facebook Live with DJs AZ and the Wolfman live from Chella's Lounge so we can kick back, enjoy some music together, and dream about the better days that are ahead of us. Your continued commitment to the community makes me certain that the best is yet to come. We hope you and your families are staying safe through this time of COVID. Un abrazo muy fuerte.